Um, so yeah, I'll give a little bit of an introduction of myself. My name is Taryn Acker. I have been with RHE for like 4 or 5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that. I don't know. But I had worked with Devin previously. While I went to Utah State, and while I was there, I worked for a company that he was head of, and worked a lot with adults with mental disabilities, and that's kind of how I started this whole thing. And right now, I'm just started my second class in a master's degree program for applied behavior analysis, and that's going well so far. And at the moment, I am doing all of the behavior work here. Devin is definitely he's the person I go to for most things, but he is more of a mentor while I am taking care of the doing the behavior stuff, and I am also doing safety care training. So one of the things a lot of the agencies are required to have is some kind of training, whether it's SOAR or something like that. Uh, Safety care is one of the things I teach, so definitely take advantage of me with if you need staff that need to have that stuff filled in.
And I want to clarify some things too. And also, we have Laura here, myself, Devin, and Taryn kind of in our room. You can't see Laura and I on screen because Taryn's mug is almost as beautiful as Laura's. She's too pretty for television, but Taryn is in the middle, so we use him. Um, what he just said about safety care training should not just glance through your head. Your staff need safety care training. He is willing to do safety care training. He has much more time than I have to do that safety care training, which means the onus is on you as your provider to reach out to your staff, get 10 people. If you can't find 10, that's fine. Call us and we'll find another provider who needs to do safety care training, and we will create a class of 10 people. Less than 10 is inefficient. It wastes our time, to be frank. So we need 10 people. You can do it all yourself, or you can link up with someone else, or link up with a third person if necessary. But Taryn will do as many safety care trainings as are necessary for you to be able to get your staff trained. It's an annual training. They need to be trained. It's not a, should I do it? It might be a good idea. One of your biggest liabilities is when something goes wrong, not having staff shown as training. And even though we provide a lot of trainings through RHE, safety care is one of the only parts that we offer that is nationally credentialed, meaning that it's nationally recognized. And so if you don't participate in nationally accredited or nationally recognized trainings, you look like not an awesome provider when you could look like an awesome provider because the resource is just right here waiting for you to take it. So we are going to, and just kind of as an aside to that, this training should last anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. Throughout this training, we're going to embed 4 questions and 4 answers to those questions, and this training will then be put in Niche Academy, and you'll have to answer the answers to these 4 questions. They'll be random. You'll need to pay attention. You'll have to watch the whole thing. The only way you can have a Human Rights Committee to use is if you participate in the Human Rights Committee. It's a non-option for you. If you want human rights restrictions, and as a provider requirement that you have a Human Rights Committee. It's not even it'd be nice, or I don't do human rights restrictions, so I don't need it. If you don't participate, you don't have one. You don't have one, you're not compliant. You're not compliant, you don't have a business. So I can't be more clear than that. If we send you a text from Human Rights Committee or a PandaDoc from Human Rights Committee, it has to be a part of your integral, important things that you do. It cannot be I'll get to that, I got other things to do. And if you don't participate with the same amount of effort as everybody else participates, then it's really not fair to everybody else. So you guys know that I care about you, know that we would do anything to help you, including giving you the hard conversation that says you need to improve on your participation in human rights committees. Hard stop. Okay, Taryn's going to go through and talk about everything that's in our Human Rights Committee offer letter. You have to pay attention to these rules. You have to be aware of them as a Human Rights Committee member so that you can make decisions that follow the rules. Just because we have a Human Rights Committee doesn't mean we can supersede any Office of Licensing or Utah State Administrative Codes or anything else for that matter. Okay? So answer to question 1, Taryn, what is your favorite workout to do right now?
Is definitely fight camp boxing training. My favorite workout to do right now. And I was introduced to that by the man who was just speaking.
Too much credit for me, but thanks, Taryn.
There you go.
Okay, Taryn is going to take it from here. You have, or will have, if you haven't already, you should have probably already received what we call a Human Rights Committee offer letter. Okay, this is your acceptance and acknowledgement that you participate in our Human Rights Committee. We're going to go through that because it serves as your initial training and it serves as our recurring training. So, Taryn, take it away.
Okay. Let's see if I can. So that's what's being posted there? Okay. Okay, so this is just one of the providers who's already signed it, Jeremy. We're just going to go off of his. One of the things I wanted to focus on, right here, you are just being introduced to what you are signing up for, what you are being asked to do as far as being a member of the committee. The last sentence I do want to read of this paragraph here. It says, I do also agree that I have read and will abide by rules and regulations governing human rights committees contained in the attached Utah Administration Code. And so the rest of everything we're going to learn is going to be under this rule, the R539-4. Right off the bat, it talks about the purpose, and I think the purpose is important. The purpose of this rule is to define and establish standards for behavior interventions and protect persons' rights and prevent abuse and neglect. This is important to always understand that this is the principle you're trying to live by. As providers, you are sacrificing to help clients to become as independent as possible. And a lot of them are going to have behaviors that are very difficult, and it will be easier to do certain things that might go against their rights. We are not going to do that. One thing I think is a good kind of rule of thumb to always think about from previous experience working in homes, we are not prisons, and we're not prison guards. We want to give our clients as much freedom and as much independence as possible. And so keep that in mind, because there are times where we do need to restrict somebody's rights, but it needs to be as little as possible that we're restricting it and as short as possible. We want to get them trained if we have to restrict their rights so that they no longer are needing the rights in the first place. The authority, I'll just go ahead because it's a quick one to read. This rule establishes procedures and standards for persons' constitutional liberty interests as required by subsection, is that 62A-5-103? The next section here under definitions, I'm not going to go over a ton of them, but I will say that this is important to go over every so often. As I was